Asato Ma Satgamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Amrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya Asato Ma Satgamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya Asato Ma Satgamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya Asato Ma Satgamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya Asato Ma Satgamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya Asato Ma Satgamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya Asato Ma Satgamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya Asato Ma Satgamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya Asato Ma Satgamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya Asato Ma Satgamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya.
Hello, hello. It is Tuesday at 5:55. And yeah, we are gathering. We are guided in by the beautiful chant by Alicia Mathewson, the Asato Ma Prayer. If you are not familiar with it, the words mean guide me from untruth into truth, guide me, lead me from darkness into light, and lead me from death to immortality. So we begin each week with those words, the vibration that says this, I think I said this last time, this is all a game. This is all illusion. What is real is this infinite aspect of ourselves that moves through each lifetime, moves through each experience. So as we show up here in this space, it's with a bit of irreverence or humor. Irreverence is the best word. Let's laugh at ourselves a little bit, because this is a game that we are all playing, this journey of life, and we take it so seriously. And there are serious moments, but every once in a while it's okay to have a pause and just laugh at ourselves a little bit. So that is what I feel we'll be doing tonight. I want to start by saying Jimmy Buffett is in town here in Cincinnati. So I have, you probably can't tell, I have my Hawaiian jungle print on. My husband is working the show right now, running a spotlight on Jimmy Buffett. My daughter is working at Grader's, which is this absolutely incredible ice cream place in Cincinnati. If you are not familiar with Grader's, I'm telling you, even Oprah likes it. She has ordered Grader's to be delivered to her home. So it is good ice cream. And my daughter's crew is wearing jungle print shirts tonight in honor of Jimmy Buffett mania here in Cincinnati. So I didn't realize when I got dressed this morning that I was matching the vibration of what is happening. Our Riverbend, our concert venue, is about 10 minutes from our house, and you can see it. You can see the fireworks from it when we have a clear night. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of partying going on while we are sitting in this space. So it feels perfect. It feels perfect to say that irreverence is perhaps the theme of the evening. Yeah, it's been a busy time. It's been a busy time. 4th of July holiday. We're in the heat of summer across the United States. It is a new moon week this week. We have new moon in Cancer. I was just reading on Astro Mama some details about Jupiter and Scorpio and some drama that is happening there. So yeah, when I say things are heating up, like, it really feels like it. It feels like we are heating up the energies, and there's room for more truth to come to light. There is more room for us to express our voices and really engage more deeply in our lives, be more present, be more aware. The podcast that I created this morning was titled Courage. And this morning I was thinking, well, that's probably what we'll talk about tonight in the video. And in my meditation, I could feel right before the call, I could feel my mind just go blank. Nope, we're going to show up. We're just going to see whatever it is that wants to be coming through. So the word irreverence feels way more fun than courage, even though they're connected. Irreverence feels a little more lighthearted. Yeah, what would I want to start with? I guess I'll start with what's going on in my journey, because that always seems to bring forward whatever the threads are that are going to be connecting. We had a busy weekend here at my home. It was our family reunion on my dad's side. So we had family coming in from across the country, and I guess more up and down, from Ohio down and from Alabama up, and then some sideways movement. But everybody gathered here in Cincinnati, and my parents organized this beautiful gathering of about 50 people. And yeah, what would I say about family? You know, I'll share a little bit about my experience of family, and maybe that informs your own. So I am an Aquarius Gemini in my chart, if you look at my sun, moon, and ascendant. And the Gemini, I talked about this before on one of these videos, is very much about holding the duality, being able to keep a foot in either side of whatever it is that I'm exploring. When I grew up, I had that same experience. My mom is from South Africa, born and raised there. My dad is from America, born and raised in Ohio. And he transferred over to South Africa and met my mom. And so they lived there and had the three of us and lived there for quite a while. I was 11 when we moved over to the United States. When I was in South Africa, we were immersed in my mom's family. So I spent a lot of time with my maternal grandparents and my aunts on my mom's side and some extended family and my cousins. And then we didn't see our relatives from America because obviously it was so far away. I had a few people who came and visited us when I was little, but the majority of the time, maternal side. So from 0 to 11, that was family to me. It was one half of the family, and a couple trips to the United States to see our relatives here. But for the most part, that was who I identified with as family. When I was 11 and we left, as I cough, as I left, oh, it was a difficult time. Can you tell? It's still in my throat. That's so funny. I love how the physical body's like, and we clear another layer. Irreverent for sure. When I was 11 and we left South Africa and moved to Ohio, here to the United States, we said goodbye to my mom's side of the family for quite a while. My grandparents came over a year later with my aunt right before she got married in South Africa. She came to visit us, and I remember her making her wedding dress at our house. And then I didn't see my grandfather again before he died, and I saw my grandmother one more time. When my daughter was 1 year old, my grandmother was here for Christmas, and it was about 6 months to a year before she passed away. So it was quite a visit. Quite a visit. It's so funny. I could feel my grandmother in the meditation right before we started, but I didn't realize I would be talking about her. So beautiful. Such a beautiful love. So, not going to cry. My relatives on my mom's side, several of them have immigrated to the United States since then. So we still have my aunt and two of our cousins around here in the area. But what I'm talking about is the Gemini and the duality. When we left South Africa, the maternal side of our family remained in South Africa, and we began to get to know the paternal side of my family. And so we would spend some holidays with my cousins, my aunts, my uncles. We would go visit, but nobody lived close to us. So it was still a bit of a distance, in connecting. And so these annual family reunions, we've had them since we moved here when I was a teenager. And most of the time we've made them. It's not always as easy with, events and activities and families and conflicting dates. So my dad, when we had the family reunion this weekend, he had a message for all of us that was so beautiful. He just was saying the importance of making those events happen, of being with family, of gathering everyone together and catching up on news and meeting the new children and the pets and hearing the stories and, just being in the same space for a day, how that just keeps the family ties connected. And it is true, everything he said is so true. What has been interesting for me in my journey, I guess this is what we're going to talk about, is family. What has been interesting for me, because of the experience of being so close to my maternal side and then not having that anymore, and not having the paternal side and then suddenly having it, midway through my growing up years, there's been for me, I have experienced my nuclear family as being family. You know, my parents and my siblings, like that's family. Because no matter where we live, no matter what we're doing, like that's the core nucleus foundation for me. And many others have different experiences. Their grandparents are their nuclear family and take care of them, or a parent has died and a sibling is raising them. You know, there are so many different expressions of family, but this one has been mine. My nuclear parents and siblings have really been my anchor. And I have found that as I have had children, you know, that idea of family has been explored. Is that the right way to say it? You know, I believed when I got married to my husband and had my children with him that that would be the family for the rest of our lives. And then we went through a divorce and have shared custody. And so the nuclear family has certainly been something that hasn't worked out the way I thought that it would. And so we've redefined what I've always held to be truth as family: 2 parents and 3 children. And then in my family with my children, it has not been that. And so, you know, we've really navigated what does it look like to be a divorced family. And then when I got remarried to my husband and he has stepchildren, you know, we have expanded our family and redefined what that looks like. And so when I was at the family reunion this weekend, it's just, it's interesting to see the way that our stories, our beliefs, our truths, our paths are reflected to us as we're growing, as we're understanding new ways of being a human here on this planet. There are so many divorces in my extended family and so many new versions and definitions of what family looks like, the nuclear family, and how it's, you know, playing out, how involved the grandparents are and the aunts and the uncles. You know, we are really in a time where all of that is being open for new definitions. And that's not even looking at, you know, outside of the traditional male and female definition of a family. And it's all open right now for creation. You know, what is it that we want to experience in our lives? What kinds of relationships do we want to have? And what are the relationships we hold as priority? Yeah, and my dad's concern was very much like, we need to keep the family together. We need to keep the connections close. And what I find for myself in my journey is that, what do I find? What do I find for myself? I find that time is limited. Time is limited, and there's so much to experience and do in life. You know, there are so many avenues to pursue. There's so much potential and possibility of experiences that we can create in this human journey. I think of when, you know, the world first started and you had to walk to get somewhere. Well, that kind of limits what your experience would be as a human on this planet. If you have to walk to every experience that you could create and there was no technology, and just imagine what the possibilities were of the physical experience on Earth when life first started here and humans first occupied this planet, to now where I can sit in front of my computer and I can make a video and I can post it to the website, and someone on the other side of the world can watch what I am doing and share and reflect and communicate back and forth, and we can have virtual conversations, and people can get on rocket ships and leave the planet, go to the moon. Like, you think of all the experiences that are available to us in this journey. And time is the the equalizer, the limiting factor that says you have 24 hours in a day and your physical body is going to need rest for some of that time. You have to feed the body, you have to bathe the body if you want anyone to hang out with you. you have, gosh, I don't even know, you have to maintain a home so that you can have somewhere to sleep. You have to get groceries so you have something to eat. Like, there's all this stuff that has to happen for us to live in this current reality, for us to make money, to afford to pay for all the things in this current reality. And then what, right? What do we want to spend that extra time on? What do we choose to invest our time in? And we can fill it with so much stuff. We can fill our time with inconsequential things. You know, I think of how much time I spend cleaning. Oh, cleaning, really? Weeding. I know we need to weed, but really? Like, how much time pulling weeds and mowing lawns and like all these things that seem so irreverent, so ridiculous. I mean, there are people, thousands of people at a Jimmy Buffett concert with parrot heads on their head throwing beach balls at each other and, you know, having the best time getting drunk and being silly. Like, we all have choices of how we can spend our time. And what I honor, what I believe so firmly for myself is that every single human has the right to choose how they want to spend their time. That's the gift. Free will is the gift of being a soul in a human body on this planet. You get to choose. You get to choose everything that you experience. And you can choose to take the path. My ear is like ringing right now. So funny. That is a sure sign that I am on track and my guides are like, forward. Yes, it's the strangest feeling. It's not usually that loud. When we decide as souls to come into human bodies and to bring all of that infinite wisdom down into the physical form, we are offered free will. So the soul in the human body is told, go create, go be, go live, go do whatever it is that you want to do in your journey. It is your journey. And you have as long as you've agreed at a soul level to be here, to have that experience. Go do it. Go be it. And also own that you chose where you were going to land, what family you were going to be in, what body you were going to choose, what options you'd have on the table in front of you. You chose all of that. Now go create, go experience. And so when we start down that road, we grow up and we're picking, right? We're picking what schools we're going to, if we're going to go on to college or take a trade school or start working a job or drop out of high school, if we're going to get married, if we're going to have children. All of those are choices that are moving us along this journey of life. And we choose each one of those. We choose all of those experiences. So as we grow up, as we become adults, as we evolve into more soul than human, hopefully, as we continue down this journey, we start to understand that all of those choices, all of those decisions have brought us here. And we have this life that we have created, and it has so much time in each day that we get to decide how that day goes. So what kind of work do we want to do? Can we change the work that we're doing? What kind of creations do we want to birth into the world? Who do we want to spend time with? What kinds of conversations do we want to have? What are the, if we take all of those hours in a day and we lay them out and we go, this, what are the priorities each of us has? And the beauty is none of them are wrong. Every human gets to choose what it is that they want to do, how they want to spend their day. So this is where a lot of people would say, not really, because I still have to work. I still have to pay for a house. I still have to, right? Like all of our victim stories come up. Not really. I don't really get to choose. There's always choice. Always choice. Always choice. You can room with people if the house is too expensive. You can work, a different kind of job. I'm not even going to go into the victim story. It's always our choice how we are spending our time. And then one choice leads you directly to the next choice and to the next choice and to the next choice. So as I pondered like the family reunion, it's a choice to be there. It's a choice to say, this one day out of the year, we're going to all be together, and I'm going to be fully present, and I'm going to connect, and I'm going to listen, and I'm going to, see what's happening in all of these beautiful people in my family, and learn more about each other, and celebrate this beautiful day of being alive together. So it's an incredible, beautiful experience and fun, and then we go back into the routine of life, and there's a choice again. Where do I choose to invest my time, and with who and how? And, everyone's having those same experiences. With time being this limiter, sometimes relationships are going to shift and move because the priorities in our lives are shifting and moving also. So an easy example, right? So my daughter goes off to college. Well, she's not physically here. So that changes the dynamics of relationships when you're not physically in the same town and you're living with roommates. You start to develop relationships with roommates, new people that weren't in your life before, but that are now relevant because you're with them all day long or every night when you go to bed. Our journeys are constantly evolving and moving, and so as we flow with that, as we flow with the rhythms of what's happening, and then we choose, right? If I only have so much time, this is where I most want to spend my time. What I have prioritized, what I have prioritized in my own journey is internal time, meditation time, connecting to my guides, creation energy, really tuning into what is the next gift of consciousness that's flowing through me and out into the world right now. What expression of love is ready to be created, and how do I express that? What are the ways that I can express love that others will resonate with and match that love and expand love? And so we're all becoming more loving by the creations that are flowing through me. That's a major priority of my time. And I have fun with it. I am very irreverent about the work that I do. I love it, and also it's got to be fun. It's got to be enjoyable, or why would I be doing it? I'm not here to suffer. I'm not here to struggle. I'm not here to hate my job or get through the day. I'm here to enjoy it. And the creation energy is so enlivening. Is that the right word? There's such life force that flows through me in creation space when I am complete with my meditation and I tune into what wants to be shared or expressed through me. It's just the most joyous feeling. It is pure love and light expressed in the physical form. And it's magnificent. It's absolutely magnificent. And so that is a major priority in my schedule of my day. Creating is, it's top priority, as well as feeding my family and making sure everyone is where they need to be and eating dinner together and hanging out and talking. In addition to all of that, creation energy is It's the best. It's the best. So, yeah, why are we talking so much about? Because what I feel is when we get rushed and pressed for time, when other people's priorities become this like driving force in our lives, and the ways that we want to spend our time are pushed to the side or moved to not as important. When we're not in alignment with the ways that our souls want to be spending time here on Gaia, on this, in this physical body, on this planet at this time, when we're not in alignment with the way that our soul wants to experience this journey, that's where all the chaos and disease and ill health and stress and anxiety and frustration, all of that shit, all of that, it comes because we're not in alignment. Our soul is like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you wasting your time doing this thing that you know doesn't make you happy? Right? When we are out of alignment, our soul is unhappy. And when the soul is unhappy inside the mind, body, spirit balance, then, you know, the mind and the body start getting out of whack. The mind starts to loop and spin and come up with all these stories and beliefs, and the body starts to get sick, and, you know, it just becomes a mess. And so finding the, as I laugh, it's a mess. It's just a hot mess. What do you want? You're just a hot mess when you're not in alignment. And so it's a reminder. It's a way for us to realize, like, we're not bringing forward what our souls wanted us to bring forward. And so it's time to tune back in. It's time to pause the activity and check back in. Kind of like the family reunion. You know, once a year we have this, everyone come together and everyone check in. Is everybody good? How are we doing? I love you, I love you, I love you. Okay, everybody back out. Let's go save the world. Like, that's the feeling of the family reunion. It's like everybody hugging and loving on each other, and then, okay, go back into your world and let's do the thing that we all agreed we were going to do, because we just told each other we were going to do it at the family reunion. There is a little bit of accountability, right? When you show up once a year, it's like you got to make sure you're on your game. You don't want to show up and not feel like you have something to share. And so it's the same for the mind, body, spirit. It's when there's this coming into harmony, you feel it, you know it, you're excited, and you're ready to bring whatever the next creation is through you. And so you're invigorated and you create. And then when everybody starts pressing and pushing against you, and life and time, and you feel squeezed, and, you know, it all falls apart, you know the difference. You know the contrast. You know the contrast. So it's a reminder. It's a reminder. It's like when I was talking about going to the Imagine Dragons concert. You know, I went to the concert with this expectation that I would remember how exciting it is to connect with large groups of people and to feel that energy moving through huge crowds and to witness someone in their genius. I knew going to Imagine Dragons, all of that would come forward in my consciousness again. That's exactly what happened. So our soul will bring the like a rebalancing, the reminder. Our soul will bring that little event or activation or relationship forward to go, up. You're out of alignment. Let's come back into harmony again. And so things may get a little chaotic and shaken up. Which brings me to the Gaia's Love podcast for today, called Courage. You'll have to listen to it, because it was great, because it's always great, because I'm scribing for source and love and consciousness, and it just flows right through every single time I make one of those. So when I say it's great, it's because it is. It's because love is just coming through my mouth, and it's so fun. What I was sharing about courage today is, now I won't be able to say it as eloquently as I did this morning. But basically it was that courage is for me, the way I define courage, it's going beyond what feels comfortable. It's going outside of what you think you have the capacity for. It's that extra push, internal, I can do this, right? That oomph. I got this, I can do this, I'm able to create whatever it is. Yeah. Courage. So when we are faced with this limited amount of time, here we are on this planet right now with all the options of everywhere to go, anything to do, anything you want to experience. It's fully available to everyone. You can go create. You have to have some money perhaps, and you have to have time, but you can do anything you want on this planet. It's just an incredible time to be alive. And so with all of those possibilities and with a limited amount of time, we are constantly faced with choices, how do we spend our time? What do we want to do? Who do we want to be doing it with? That's what I was talking about all of tonight. So courage is that internal standing up for the thing you most want to do. Being courageous enough to go do that thing you really, really, really have to do. Because you're only here on this planet for so much time. You're a physical, limited body that eventually is going to come to an end. Hopefully, if you want to stay here a long time, hopefully 100, 110, 120. I don't know. Maybe with advances in science, you could live to be 150, 200, right? In the Bible, didn't people live to be 600, 700? I mean, you could have a long time. But I would say the average human is probably 80 to 90 years. So knowing there is a limited amount of time that you get to walk this planet and bring your gifts forward, knowing that you are here with purpose, have the courage to step up and do that thing that you're here to do. Just do it. Just start. Just start. When I was first connecting into this idea of a daily podcast, I was like, no way. No way. Do you know what that's going to require? I did 30 days of meditation a couple of years ago when I started my business, and I was like, every day for 30 days. Well, a podcast feels even longer, every day. What am I going to talk about? What if I get tired of it? What if I have to walk away from it? No. So I didn't start. I have a little note on a big piece of paper on my wall. I'm looking at it, but I don't know how to describe it to you. Over there is this piece of paper that says Notes from Gaia, which is what I thought I was going to call it. And then underneath it says Gaia's love. And there's all these things of what I'm going to talk about on the podcast. And I had it all mapped out. And that's been sitting there for 6 months. And in meditation after meditation, every once in a while, Gaia's recording, Gaia's podcast, it's ready to start. It's time to start. And I was always just, later. There's other things I'm working on when there's time. When there's time. And yeah, literally as soon as one day Gaia grows up was complete, I'm like, and it's time. Book's done. Podcast. It was literally the same week. I was just so excited that the book was ready and birthed and going into the world, and now I could redirect my energy and really focus, on this podcast, which has been, it's it's a knowing inside of me that this needs to come through. These short messages are so important, and they're so powerful. And, this is a beautiful expression of love that is being broadcast into consciousness every day. And it's just boom, 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 all these little like love nuggets just coming out. I mean, I know they're for me first. Like, I need to hear them, which is why they're scribing through me so I can say it and hear it. And then when I write the words for my Instagram post, I listen to it so I can write the little intro. So I know that Gaia's love is for me. I mean, let's just put it out there. I did it for myself first. But you all get to benefit from it. The world gets to benefit from what apparently I need to be hearing. So fun to just let consciousness come through, stream on out. But anyway, Gaia's love. I believe what I was saying. I believe what I was saying is it sat for a long time. And then in one of my meditations, there was just this clear, like, just start. It was like all of my guides were just hitting me on the head and yelling at me, just start, just make one, just make one podcast and send it out and see what happens. Just do one. And it was so easy. It flowed so seamlessly. It was just perfect. And a template was created, and I knew exactly how to flow all of the pieces together, and it was just amazing. And then hooking it up to iTunes, it was an energetic block. Like, no, I don't want it to go to iTunes. Then lots of people will hear it. I don't want that. And so it sat in the review process, got rejected, had to go back. Like, it was this whole thing for about 10 days until I sat down and cleared some energy and revamped a little bit of how I'm doing my business. Literally, as I was doing that, no lie, I finished with that. It was about 4 or 5 hour day. Finished with that, came back to my computer, and the approval was there that, the podcast was on iTunes. So all has aligned with grace to support this creation. And it's because I made it a priority. I know that is one of the gifts that I am meant to be sharing. And it is important that it starts now. And so knowing that, feeling that alignment, it's a choice. It's a courageous choice to say, okay, I'm in. Not just halfway, like, I'm in. I'm committing to this for the long term. It's funny. It's like when the stray cat showed up at our house. Oh, my friend is not going to be happy that I'm saying this, but when Katniss showed up at our house, and she was just this tiny little kitten. She was 3 months old. And I remember just looking at her and thinking, she could live a long time. She could live a long time. I had tried having a cat once when I was 19, and I remember calling my roommate at the time and going, how long do cats live? And that cat it didn't work out. We had to find her a new owner because I was not ready to be the owner of a pet. But this Katniss, like, she's here long term. And then we added a dog. What was I thinking? So now we have 2 pets, and they're going to live a long time. And they're going to live a long time. And now I started a podcast. We choose where we spend our time and what we make a priority. And it's the gift. It's the gift of being alive on this planet is free will. What are we going to do with our time? So I encourage you to be courageous, to really tune into the priorities, the ways that you want to invest your energy during the hours that you have in a day, and the days you have in a week, and the weeks you have in a year. What do you choose to do with that time? And then really be courageous, be bold, be brave. and express those things that have to be expressed. The planets are aligning with you right now. Jupiter and Scorpio, it's all aligning. New moon in Cancer, it's about being home in this body, being home on this planet, being home in the communities that you choose, the relationships you invest in. Align with all of that energy and be really, really, really courageous. And then let it be fun, because that's the whole point. That is the whole point. It should be fun. I was trying to figure out what song should I close with, like what would be a fun song, and instead I have an album, a whole album. It has been guiding me beautifully over the last 2 months, and I just keep chanting all of these songs over and over, and when they play, my heart just melts every time. But the Snatam Core album, Beloved, it is incredible. So go to YouTube. I'm sure it's on there as a whole album, and you can play it and then buy it and support more creations from Snatam Core, because she is so gifted. So yes, the album Beloved would be my invitation for you tonight. All right, and now I'm going to go invest some time with my son. We're going to watch probably Arrow. We are comic fans together, so we're going to go play tonight. So much love to each of you. Mwah.